Welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And because we're super proud of us and our cool technology all the way out in Beijing, we got Ron.
What's happening?
And you sound like you're making a phone call from my room.
Yes, you do.
You actually sound really good.
Oh.
You thought.
Beijing is really crap with Wi-Fi and internet, but really good for cell service.
Which I guess if you got
like
that, you don't need the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Yeah. True story.
We have been enjoying, for those of you who just joined the pod, Ron just relocated to China. Ooh, what, 2 weeks ago now?
I'm here almost a month.
I was about to say, it's
my
been,
God.
yeah, time's flown by, but
yeah, it is burned by. Which you're there for the next 2 years. So this is our first pod with you. Well, we've talked to you from China before on an episode, I'm pretty sure, but not since you've relocated.
Correct. And now I'm here full time.
So we are going to, today's our look at the Premier League. At some point, I got to cut my phone on to start seeing what's going on with the Arsenal game.
so excited it's back.
And then of course today, Ferris, because we're recording this, by the way, because of the time difference, Ron is currently 12 hours ahead, correct?
Yeah, so it's Sunday night for me.
Yes, and it's 8:41 in the a.m.
In the a.m.
for Ferris and I, and I love. Kara's like, "Are you guys doing beers this morning?" I was like, "It is the Brewtiful Game."
Yeah, that would be sacrilegious not to.
But it is slightly different because the first brew I'm having is delicious cup of Italian coffee.
The Italian League has not started yet, just the Premier League.
No, it has not, and I'm in my handy dandy Captain American mug. Because there was no way. I got really angry because I'd meant to find a coffee beer to go with this, but I'm sure that we'll do another weird 12-hour difference. Because somebody's drinking beer in the morning. Because if it's not going to be us, it's going to be Ron.
True.
Yep.
So today, before we get into chatting, we're going to just kind of look at the Premier League overall, like where things were last year, what we think next year might bring. We got some predictions, and Ron has his interesting facts on our 3 new promoted clubs.
Yeah.
I got to say, I'm really digging Norwich City's jersey. Kind of want one.
Sheffield United's away yesterday against Bournemouth jersey looked real sharp.
Oh, yeah, that was cool, too. Yeah. So,
The Blades.
yeah. And of course, the return of Aston Villa.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose Matt Call.
You two jinxed it yesterday
We did.
on Twitter.
the
Villa's up, yeah.
He texted
that was short lived.
the one up over Tottenham. I was like, yeah, and then womp womp. Yeah,
Not
so
even
good.
close.
Which, well, you know, I guess some stuff we can talk about with the clubs, but I guess we could do that as we get to the. We're kind of going to work our way down the Premier League list. But first, I figure, I know, Ron, you've been on some adventures and you might have an interesting beer to tell us about in China, but I guess we should crack ours here real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. This always feels cruel when you're not here.
Cruel, but
You know.
all right. Sorry.
Well,
all right.
Look, if I had a little bit better of a schedule today, I would have had beer myself. So,
Oh, there you go.
Unfortunately, tonight I couldn't, but next time I will.
All
good.
I was just thinking, I wonder if with this time difference with Ron, this is the way I can convince my wife. What we need, Ferris, is to install like a 32-inch TV above my computer over here, and then we can have the games playing.
Yeah.
While we're talking, if we keep doing these morning shows.
Just so
I'll
you
pitch in
know,
for that.
my TV's in storage.
See, we don't have to buy a new TV.
But if we go to your storage, will those
creepy people,
creepy alien people down the hallway be there?
I hope so. It'd be rude if they weren't.
So Ron,
You just
real
gotta
quick.
go at like Sunday. You gotta go in to the storage unit at like 5 a.m. on a Sunday.
I could have done that before I came here.
I don't know why you're slacking.
I just feel like it might have to happen.
So you have to tell that story just real fast because I don't think the people at home know this story. Or have we said it on the pod? I don't think we have.
I don't think so. So, as part of my preparations for China, I'm putting some stuff that I want to keep in a storage unit, and I was dropping someone off at the airport on a Sunday morning at like, I don't know, 4 or 5 in the morning, and I needed to run by the storage unit, so I figured I'd just two birds, one stone. So I went into the storage unit, and it's all, dark and quiet. No one's there. All the lights shut off, by timer and motion sensor. So, the place is just dark. And so I ride the elevator to the third floor. I step out. I immediately look to my right because something moving caught my eye. And it's a group of people, probably 2, 3, maybe a fourth. And they are wearing, if you can picture this, the new snorkeling masks.
Like the
ones
face
that are
one?
you're in. Yeah, and it's got the snorkel that comes off the top of your head.
So
they're wearing those.
You can see someone's face, basically, because of the way that
right. I can see it's an open face mask. And it doesn't have the snorkel attachment, but there are LEDs on the inside of the mask. So everyone's lit up purple. The lights are still
so
off
weird
down there. And there's tables and chairs sitting out, and there are computers around, but I can't make out exactly what's happening. So I find this obviously strange and sneak a picture. That's when I send it to you guys and a few other friends. And I feel like that was the start of a Doctor Who episode, right? Some unsuspecting dude walks into some regular, normal kind of place, and then the pod people are there.
Yeah, but didn't you go in the storage and come back out and they were gone?
Yeah. So So I go there, I dump all my stuff in there. All the lights are still out, by the way. Normally they come on as you pass, like as you trip the motion sensors. Right. But that didn't happen, even for me. So then I was like, that's weird. So I put all my stuff in the storage unit. I come back around, I go to wait for the elevator, and it's like they never existed. And when I get to the elevator, the lights start coming back on because I'm tripping motion sensors.
So weird. So you didn't pass them going in and out, or
no? Because they were on the other side of the other side of the storage unit.
Creepy.
That's so creepy. I love it. It makes me think of that Twilight episode. Twilight Zone. I think it was Twilight Zone. Dude wakes up in between seconds, and there's all these people in blue outfits who make the world perfect in between seconds. You saw something weird you shouldn't have seen.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right, Ferris.
All right.
What beer you got?
That was tangent time. So, okay. Do this quick so we can get to drinking beer, talking China, and talking Premier League. So the MLS All-Star game was here.
Oh, yeah.
Not too long ago. We partaked in a few things. I wasn't going to get you guys some gear, but to be honest, the gear wasn't that great, and it was all expensive.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
So, anyways, but I did bring back some stuff for the studio. Got a chance to meet and have a little quick chat with Alexi Lawless.
Oh, yeah.
Who signed one of our Brewtiful Game koozies for us. So, some stuff for the studio here.
That's pretty cool. You got a good picture with him, too.
Yeah. He was cool. And then what was even funnier is at the game the next day, we were in a lightning delay. And Phil and I were standing up at the terraces and just kind of waiting because we all had to clear up the seats. And the Fox broadcast was filming in one of the corners there. And I'm kind of just leaning up against a pole. And Lexi looks over, in our... where we're standing, and I kind of just give him the same sign that we did in the picture, like the cowabunga surf's up sign,
hang loose,
the hang loose sign. He looks at me and gives his rock sign that he gave in the picture the day before. He looked, kind of smiled, gave me the rock sign, and then carried on with whatever they were doing for Fox.
I think you guys are dating now.
So Phil kind of looked and was like, so Phil, he kind of looked and was like, he remembered you from last night. I'm like, Phil, it was less than 12 hours ago. And there's not a whole lot of 6'4" and above people walking around here.
Fair enough.
Us tall people stick together. But then also, it was really cool the day of the game. It rained a lot, but they had this area where you can meet and talk with some players. So I got this very, very cool a cooling scarf, if you will, that has all of the logos of the MLS teams on it. And I got some pretty cool autographs here.
Oh, sweet, dude.
By
really?
LA Galaxy. I got a former U.S. men's international team player and played over 200 games for the Galaxy, Mr. Kobe Jones, to sign up there by the Galaxy. By Orlando City, I got Shane O'Neill.
Nice.
Juan. The really fast.
Yes.
And also,
That's the Three Stooges act.
That was a Three Stooges.
That was a Three Stooges act. And Sebastian Mendez, so all from our Orlando City. And then by the Sounders, got Mr. Nicholas Ladero to sign down there by the Sounders. And then kind of in between here, and this purple one, the all-time leading MLS goal scorer, Mr. Chris Wondolowski.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so I figure some stuff, some cool stuff for the
That's great.
studio here. But the MLS All-Star game was a blast. It rained the entire time, but we put on an awesome show. Fireworks, pyro. The game was good. It was crowded. It was energetic despite the delay and the weather. But all in all, the entire week, the city put on a fantastic showing. If you were on the MLS site, which is like MLSsoccer.com, they MLS
still
ridiculous.
Major League Soccer.
Soccer. They had a couple. They had in one of their links about the All-Star game. It had a little article on the food and cool places to go in the area around the downtown area. And they had the Ace Cafe, and they had a couple other areas where you can eat and whatnot. But they also mentioned a couple of breweries. They mentioned 1010 and they mentioned Ivanhoe Park. Well, gentlemen, what I have on the pod right now is one of our last hangouts at Ivanhoe Park before Ron left for China. Blake and I picked up a 4-pack of something. And I've already done one of these, and it is absolutely fantastic.
I almost did an Ivanhoe Park Brewing. Oh my God, we almost gifted the Magi at each other.
Yes, we did.
Because I was going to do this beer too, potentially for my second beer, but I did not.
Yes.
Perfect.
So the first beer we have is the Tupac Shaporter, Ivanhoe Park's wonderful Baltic Porter that they actually just won back in March. They won, awarded Best Porter in the Best Florida Beer Championship 2019. They won gold. And I think we've all had it.
I
Ron,
actually haven't
had it. Oh, you haven't
tried it yet. No.
Oh, it's fantastic. I think Ron and I tried it at the media preview, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It is it's a wonderful porter. It is my favorite. The can is really slick. It is wonderful. But real quick on IvanhoeParkBrewing.com, Tupac Shaporter wins gold. There you go, Blake. It is, like I said, it was a Baltic porter. This thugging, velty, smooth milk porter uses lactose, adding sweetness, body, and energy to the finish. With just the right amount of roasted hints around the edges, get this old school brew year round in our tasting room. 7.3 ABV, pour into a pint glass. Best served at 55 degrees. And it pairs well with American style barbecue, smoked brisket, mellow blue cheeses, and dark chocolate cakes and desserts.
I bet it's going to pair well good with this coffee.
You're goddamn right it is.
All right.
Alrighty.
I'm excited. Yeah, man. I hadn't had this yet.
So, and because it's a Tupac Shaporter, we have a third one here, Ron, that I'm going to pour out because our homie Ron's not in the studio with us.
And by pour out into our glasses.
Yes,
when this
exactly.
one's done. Yeah. All right, here we go. Smells good.
Happy opening weekend of the Premier League, gents.
Can't believe the Premier League's already here.
I'm so happy.
I know. And that means we're already going to talk about things like who's going to get fired first.
Yes, we are. That is one of our questions that we do ask.
Oh, man, this thing looks gorgeous when it pours.
I love this beer.
Ooh, I'm going to get a good picture. See, I got to step up a game.
Yeah, we got to take
since
pictures.
Ron's our normal
Ron's not
picture
here.
guy.
Yeah, get on it.
Got to step up the game. All right, shall we give this a try?
I've tried it. I'm going to try it again. I love
Cheers,
it.
man.
Solancha. Oh, heavens me, that's so good.
Oh, my gosh, that's a fantastic porter.
Oh, heavens me, that's fantastic. Ooh, just so smooth.
It's like weirdly refreshing.
It is.
For a porter, too. Man,
you get some of those dark chocolate notes. You get a little bit of the roastedness at the end, but that's what makes it so crisp.
That ain't too shabby. Ron, you got a beer you want to share with us real quick?
So, man, I've had so many beers here. If you're following our Untapped at all, was it last weekend or the weekend before? I mean, I visited like 5 different breweries. But the latest one I had while I was on a bit of a camping excursion this weekend, and I had Yanjing Brewing's lager, and it's a pretty phenomenal beer. China actually has a pretty great like craft beer culture going on. And so Yanjing Brewing, YANGJING, has a really good, easy little beer to pound. You get it in a can or they have these little bottles. I'll send you guys a picture. They're called party beers. And it's like, it's the can just makes it, or I'm sorry, the bottle just makes it, so enticing to drink because it's shorter and fatter. So it doesn't look like you're drinking a tall boy or
like a red stripe, the way that's shorter and fatter kind of a thing.
Yes, but in a very Chinese style. I'll send you a picture of it, but you drink those things so fast and that beer is super crisp. So out there on the trail and, camping and watching the sun go down, that beer is one of the best ones so far to have. So I'll send you guys pictures of it. And then you can check it out.
Yeah. And that's a good thing to remind people, like, check out our Untapped. We always talk about it, but especially since Ron is doing all this traveling right now, there's going to be just tons of fun stuff on there.
I think since I've been in China, I've tried 17 different beers so far. So
that's not too shabby.
On our website, we did the one when you were in Honduras. We should start making some stuff of your beers you've tried in China.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll start putting up a little beer blog on that one.
Yeah, a little travel beers section.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And by the way, this porter does pair well with the coffee. Very much.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Man, dang, that's good.
Tupac knew how to make him a porter.
Yeah, he did. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just start from the way the season ended, in descending order, and kind of just talk through some of the clubs. So, Ferris, you want to get us started?
I prefer not with this team.
Really? Would you rather do the second team?
Too late.
No, that's true. Okay. Where are we gonna? We didn't really think this through as fully, but okay, all right. Well,
I know. We're gonna it ends up giving Ron, his team, but
that's true. Okay, all right. Then we'll do it that way, and then we'll go in reverse order so that I could. Okay, that way you'll cover Arsenal. So perfect. Ron, you're gonna do back to back. It prevents Blake from covering Tottenham and prevents me from covering Liverpool.
We didn't plan it, but it worked out that way.
Yeah,
I
it
like
did. Yeah, just go with it on the fly. Okay, finishing first last year. Not quite as many points as they had the year before last, but doing the double back-to-back years, Man City finished on 98 points in that very epic race that went down to the last weekend, where they just barely squeaked past Liverpool. Manager still, of course, is Mr. Pep Guardiola. Not a whole lot of ins and outs from them. A couple of notable outs, though. Vincent Kompany, their captain, their talisman. He after the season that he had every right and what he's put in for Man City to move back to his first club, and I think his boyhood club, Anderlecht in Belgium, and he will be a player manager for them. Went there on a free. They also lost Fabian Delph to Everton. Jack Harrison goes out on loan to Leeds, and Zach Steffen to Fortuna Dusseldorf on loan. So a couple of Americans tossed in there. Notable ends, nothing too big, but some very, very key folks. Rodri from Atletico Madrid, who is going to kind of, he's a big, strong lad, good with the ball at his feet, and he's going to be that defensive, not Fabinho, but the Fernando role there that they've been without that Fernandinho, without that protection of the back four and to link play up to the De Bruynes and Silvas. If Fernandinho's out of the game, they lose a big aspect of it, and that's where Rodri is going to come in and kind of fill that gap and be a little bit of depth, and he's young, so for years to come, they will also have that. They brought in Joao Cancelo from Juventus right before, I think it was actually on deadline day. That's going to add some depth to the backs position. I think they have a very good right back that came in. He will see time with Shevchenko as well, and they now have depth in that position. And then Angelino brought in from PSV Eindhoven. So not a whole lot from the champs, but when you had the type of season that they had, and you had the immense amount of talent that they have, it's hard for anybody to break into that first team. But so you really don't need a lot. They're still going to be a fantastic team. I mean, we're recording a couple days on from the start of the Premier League, but they walloped in West Brom yesterday, 5-0.
West Ham.
Well, yeah, sorry, West Ham 4-1 or something like that.
And I made Sterling my captain,
yes, you did.
Which was huge.
Yeah, I have him on mine. I didn't make him my captain though.
I had Aguero and him, and I was trying to guess who to make captain. I went, I'm going to go with Sterling. Ooh, boy.
Yes, that paid off. Blake, the leader in the clubhouse right now.
Yeah, I think there's still someone above me, but I'm above you guys.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
But I think the main question here, more so than can they repeat on the title, is can Man City finally win the Champions League?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I think I agree with Ron. I think I felt like they could have done it this year with the team they had, but I don't know what your take is, Ron. Mine is Manchester United has won the Premier League 3 times in a row, twice.
Yes,
Man City, or the other notable is Arsenal's undefeated year, the invincible years, and then so Man City hasn't done this, and I think there might be more. I think the desire to get a three-peat might be stronger than the Champions League. What do you think, Ron?
I don't think they're going to win Champions League. I think that's going to follow them around a little bit. I don't think that they're, like Ferris was saying, I don't think that they're going to have what it takes to beat Liverpool there. I think Liverpool's done it and has that momentum going, and City can only win the league.
What if City wins the league again and Liverpool wins the Champions League twice in a row?
Right?
I mean, I think we're going to get Liverpool next, obviously, because they ended second. But like at the end of the day, they are clearly 2 of the best teams in Europe still at this point.
I think I think that they're going to be trying to fight so hard on both fronts that they don't win any of the fronts.
Okay. I can't wait to see your top 4 prediction then.
Yes, true. Because they have so
Mine
much
is
talent.
off the wall.
And Ron's got Sheffield United taking
Yes, he
it all.
does. Mine's going to be
That's
very.
my Leicester's prediction.
That's true. There you go. Mine's going to be very interesting as well. But I think that they're going to be wanting to go in every different way. They're going to want to go for the 3 titles back to back. They're going to want to go for a Champions League title that they've wanted so much that I don't think like we've seen managers and clubs do in past years where they dump all their eggs into one basket. I don't think Pep can do that. I don't think he is willing to loosen those chains and to dump the eggs into either the Premier League basket or the Champions League basket. And I think that could possibly hurt them. This is now pretty much the same squad they've had for 4 years in a row. Yes, they had a summer to kind of recoup. There's no World Cup, but some players were off to the Copa and AFCON and so on. That I don't know if are they going to be able to run full throttle in both competitions all year. They've certainly shown that they can outlast teams in one competition, right? They just did this in last year's Premier League, where they barely, they won by a single point, the league. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do that all year.
And they've started
Time will
strong.
tell.
West Ham is a team that a lot of people thought would have a pretty good year this year. I'm not saying they're not going to have a good year, but good Lord, out the gate, it looks like Man City hadn't stopped playing.
Yeah,
from last year.
Well, and a big factor in that is they have Kevin De Bruyne back. Mm-hmm. Kevin De Bruyne fit. Kevin De Bruyne was out a lot of last year. So if he can stay healthy, I think that is that gives them a wonderful chance to go full throttle on both fronts.
Well, I also think, to your point, Ferris, that they can't afford to put their eggs in only one basket, right? So they are going to have to play a war on 2 fronts. They're not going to be able to. I don't think the fan base would be willing to put the Premier League in jeopardy in order to win a Champions League. I think they want the results of both because your team is so stacked.
Right. And everybody will say you have no reason to not win it.
Right.
Time
will tell.
So you weren't even, we haven't gotten to our top 4 predictions yet. So are you, okay. I guess, it starts to dance around that a little bit.
True.
Speaking of someone I'm sure is in our, I don't know about Ferris. He just may be cruel and not, but someone who probably most of our top 4 predictions, Liverpool. So they end second. Man City had 98 points. Liverpool had 97. It's as close as you can get. You could say, yes, Liverpool did have a string of draws when they were really far ahead, but at the end of the day, they lost that game to Man City, and it really did come down to one game. Another reason that every week is so fun for the Premier League. Manager, still the lovely Jurgen Klopp with his Bobby Chompers dentist teeth.
And isn't like everybody going to that dentist now?
Yeah, apparently they're all. It's like a thing. A bunch of people. So a bunch of people are going to have Bobby Chomper teeth soon. They're all going to look like that guy from the Hunger Games, Stanley Tucci. Oh yes. Notable ends. Adrian. That's really it. Gosh, that is it.
Yeah, and Adrian was a very late signing. He was West Ham's number 1 for years, so it's a good backup to Alisson, who actually just got hurt in his first game. So Adrian might be seeing some time here very soon. But other than that, not a whole lot of movement, and fans weren't too happy. But with the team that they have, they still got a hell of a lot of talent.
I think we'd make the argument that if you looked at Man City last year, they were in the same boat. They didn't have a ton of movement. They had a great team. So if you're a Liverpool fan, I don't think you need to be worried. The notable outs are Daniel Sturridge released. That just seems like someone I only think of as Liverpool. Alberto Moreno, he's at Villarreal on a free. And Danny Ings off the Southampton.
Danny Ings.
We'll be seeing him in Southampton.
He signs permanently there because he was on loan last year, and
That's right.
They made that deal permanent.
So the big question is this Liverpool's years to finally top Man City and win the league?
I say yes.
I was so convinced they get it last year. And to be honest, I feel like if you picked Liverpool last year, you didn't pick wrong. It was 98 to 97 points. I mean, like, it could have gone either way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ron, I think logically, I think I agree with you. I think they got the Champions League. Not that they wouldn't like to get it again, but getting all the way through the Champions, it's just a hard thing to do. I think you want the Premier League. You were so close to glory on both fronts. I definitely think they're going to go out to the Premier League hard. And the way they started, they look like they hadn't skipped a beat either. Mo Salah right back in it. What was that final score between them and Norwich? 4-1?
Yeah, 4-1, 5-1.
Yep.
So yeah, I think they can do it. They still have such a good freaking defense. I'm going to be real shocked if Man City and Liverpool aren't 1 and 2 again in some form or fashion.
I don't want to spoil my top 4 picks, but I don't think they will.
Well, that's just because you hate them.
Yes, this is true.
Your hate is clouding your judgment.
At the current moment, yes. I think unlike Pep and Man City, and Pep not willing to release the eggs from one basket to the other, I think Klopp is, and I think they are going to go very, very hard at the Premier League. What I think they might see this year, and they didn't see a whole lot last year, is they could experience, and any team could experience this, so it's not necessarily just some profound statement, but if they have injuries to key spots, you could see, so Alisson could be a very key injury. If Van Dijk is to get injured, that's a very key injury. If Salah, that's a key injury. So kind of what Tottenham's experienced in years past, which would be the team that we talk about here in a bit. If they have an injury to Kane, if they have an injury to Ali, like Liverpool could experience that. The depth is not entirely there. Do they have some depth? Yes. But that's where I think they could get tangled. They're going so hard for the Premier League that those things could occur. They didn't experience that a whole lot last year. They were riding high. They were moving forward, and they won the Champions League, barely missing out on the Premier League. But we shall see.
You say yes, Ron?
I'll get back to that in my top 4.
Perfect. Would you like to take the Blues away?
So Chelsea finishes 3rd on 72 last year. Maurizio Sarri leaves Chelsea on June 16th and becomes the Juve manager.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. That means Frank Lampard comes in. He was the manager of Derby County. So I think Blake was the one that called that out.
Yeah.
So good job, Blake.
Get him right every now and then.
So it's going to be interesting. Chelsea, if you look at the Chelsea transfer list, it's like 36 people were either released, traded, or put out on loan. So some of our notable outs, Eden Hazard finally goes to Real Madrid.
Here you go.
And I only say that because the soap opera of As the World Turns Eden Hazard was really getting a little
It is
long.
called The World in Hazard.
Yeah, so I was...
Maybe see
And he wasn't happy to play there anymore after, how many coaches in his tenure there.
Well, he just did not enjoy the cigarette smoke in the locker room from Sorry constantly.
No. So I wish him nothing but the best. He is the reason that we've won so many titles in the recent past. So hey, good on you, dude. Have a nice day. Another out, Alvaro Morata. Also another person that I'm not sad to see go. He just didn't fit in. He really was very inconsistent in the scoring, and we brought him in to do specifically just that. And he really hasn't done very much for us, so he's out on a permanent deal to Atletico Madrid. Gary Cahill, the own goal champion, he's gone. Just flat out released. I'm sure someone's going to pick him up.
They already did. We'll get to that club here in a bit.
Oh, I guess I missed it. Danny Drinkwater goes to Burnley on loan. He is not happy about that one.
No, he's not.
Not at all.
That's an
interesting move, but a good move for Burnley, though.
Yeah,
definitely for Burnley. But I think I'd be a little upset about it myself. Having a Chelsea team in shambles. When he played, he was a bright-ish spot, or should I say, one of the brighter spots on the squad last year. So.
And nobody's been brought in to like they're still on a ban. So nobody's been brought in to like backfill him and then put him out on loan, right? Like it's not like
right.
And the ban has been upheld, so you guys can't sign anybody new until January, right?
No, next summer.
Jeez. You know what? Keep going. I'll get to my thoughts about that.
And then the buzzer beater. On transfer day, David Luiz bolts to Arsenal.
Just across London.
I think that's good for both people. For both him and Arsenal.
Yeah. He's just a
probably it sucks
character.
for us, I think. And then there's another 15 or more so loans, including the American Matt Miazga, who goes to Reading on loan. Notable ins, Kovacic on a permanent deal from Real Madrid. So we'll see how that continues to pan out.
Because he was kind of already on the books.
He was on loan.
Chelsea. He was on loan.
Right.
They were able to make this deal via the rules of their ban or whatever.
They had MLS discovery rights.
Yeah, exactly. They used target allocated money for it.
Just to enter the MLS vortex for a second, did you guys catch the question that at Tony Sounds Good was asking about transfer money and all that?
Yeah, and then had the explanation, and you read it, and you're like, what does that even mean?
Yeah,
back ass.
So,
whatever.
There's been one of the big pundits here in the States actually made a big push for like this crap's got to change like fast, so ambitious clubs can just get people and more attention can put on the league. Anyway, sorry, MLS vortex.
No, you're fine. So then the other notable the U.S. men's national team bright spot, Christian Pulisic.
See, I made sure you got to say it instead of Ferris.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's fine. So he makes his debut in a few hours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Wait, got to get United at Old Trafford.
Yep. And so the one burning question for this season, will Frank Lampard make the top four in his first season back at the Bridge? What do you think?
I'm going to say no with an asterisk of positivity, though. No. Like, I think the situation they're in keeps them out of the top four in this transition, not being able to sign new players. Like, it was a bit of an upheaval coming out of the sorry thing drug on so long. I don't think it's in a bad way. I think it could I think you guys, I feel like you could have an enjoyable year like I got to have last year. Like expectations for Arsenal for me were very low last year. New manager after the same one for years. And, we didn't really pick up many people as far as defense or whatever was concerned. And just like, I hope we are competitive. And to be honest, because the pressure was off, and I would say across, if you follow the craziness that is like social media on soccer, Arsenal fans are angry. But last year, even though they ended, below Chelsea, below Tottenham. Everybody was pretty pleased with the season because it was a better than the expectations were. And I think Lampard coming in out of Sheffield, I don't think anyone's expecting him to destroy things. I think they're expecting him to build things. So I feel like you guys can have an enjoyable year. Maybe you crack into the top 4, maybe you don't. But I think as long as there's forward momentum, Frank looks like he keeps the team fired up. And keeps things good until this transfer ban, in a way, helps Frank Lampard, because I feel like if there are struggles, whereas coaches might get fired too soon, both because of his prestige at the club and the situation it's in, it kind of gives him a freebie in a way.
Yeah, I agree. He gets a freebie this year.
Yeah, so I think you're not going to be in the top 4, but I also think it's going to be a fun and good season. Like with Frank Lampard at the helm, I don't know. I'm even looking forward, except when you play Arsenal, to see Chelsea play, Yeah,
I think he gets a free this season. And just like when Emery came in, there are expectations to boost morale and fix the systemic problems below the line.
Yeah.
And when I say below the line, I mean from, his part down. I still think the front office and the ownership and leadership, I think that's all still a mess. But I think the fans are going to give him a lot of latitude so that he can try and rewrite the ship.
And Frankie Lampard, I mean, I don't care if you're not a Chelsea fan or it's kind of hard not to like. He's a good dude. His halftime speeches and stuff when they would show for Derby County were they were awesome. I was like, man, I mean, so you talk about a guy like that coming to rally things. I mean, look at Christian Pulisic coming to Chelsea. He was in this weird situation, was sorry, but now he's going to play with a guy he was watching in his formative years too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think they make the top 4 either. I think they fight to make the top 6. Remember, they're playing also in the Champions League this year because they won the Europa League last year. So that's going to be a little bit of a grind with a little less depth than they had in the past because of the ban.
Also, let's be fair, that top 6 is going to be hard.
Very tough, yes. So I think that they struggle. But I agree with you, Blake. I think it's all in all, it's going to be a positive thing. I think, and what Ron was saying, I think Frank Lampard is a bit on a for free, if you will, this year, that because of the ban, because of the what's going on, that he kind of gets a first year pass, right? I think Chelsea are going to find troubles though, because unless Pulisic comes out firing, he has big shoes to fill. He's not a Eden Hazard. He's looked bright in preseason, but putting all of that on his shoulders is that's a big responsibility. Is he up for it? Yeah, I think he is, but will he fully
trial by fire?
Yeah, exactly. But
the hard part of that is really going to be who's there to help.
Exactly. Right? And mainly up front, who's there to help. They have no Diego Costa, no Drogba.
He's going to have to link up with the lumbersexual and really, and the two of them are going to have to take the bull by the horns, if you will, because I really don't see Kovacic doing it.
No, and you're right. Like, who's going to play up front there for them? Giroud's about it. They have Tammy Abraham, who played for Villa last year on loan. Surprise, surprise. But he's back with the club, and he's young, and he has some speed. So maybe they can also partner up well. But that's about it. Like I said, they don't have those big number 9s that they've had in the past. So, and you also don't have Callum Hudson-Odoi until about December or so because of the injury that he sustained last year.
Right.
So it's gonna it's gonna be a rough year for Chelsea, but I think a rough year in a positive way, because I do think that this will allow Frank to kind of get settled in back into the club and back into that managerial position, and work some young talent that may have been off on loan for them into the team. So we'll see what comes of the Blues this year.
Well, I guess that moves us on to Tottenham. I think I'm doing this one again, right?
Yes.
So Tottenham, the much contested between the three of us over the past season about whether they make top four, whether or not Pochettino stays, does he go? So a much talked about team for us last season finished in fourth on 71 points. Pochettino still at the club. Notable ins. All right. Go for this one, Ferris.
Tanguy Ndombele.
All right. You got it. From Lyon, he's in. Jack Clark from Leeds and Giovanni Locello from Real Betis on loan. And then Ryan Sessegnon from Fulham. I think that Ryan Sessegnon is actually a pretty good signing for them.
Sneaky signing,
I feel like he's... What's that?
Sneaky signing.
Yeah, I think he's really going to help tie some things together for Tottenham that they've had, kind of where he's going to fix up the rough edges, I feel like. I think that's a good signing for them.
And I think it's kind of a backfill for Kieran Trippier, who went out this window to Atletico Madrid. And somebody that is very young. And all in all, I think this was a fantastic window for the Spurs. They signed more in this window than they have the past like three combined or something like that.
Yeah, which is crazy to see that they're spending money now. Jack Clark, on the notable outs list, Jack Clark goes back to Leeds on a loan. Vincent Janssen goes to Monterrey, and then, like you mentioned, Trippier is out to Atletico Madrid. So really what it comes down to, gents, do you see Tottenham making the top four again?
Yes. For me, yes. I'll kind of say where I think they land. I
almost feel this year
table,
we need to
I
predict
think
our top six.
Right?
It's more fun to narrow it down to four.
Man, here's the thing.
Well, and here's why I say that. They also kept two pieces that have been talked about going out all summer. They kept Toby Alderweireld there in the back, and they kept Christian Eriksen in the midfield. And they added to each of those. They added with Sessegnon to the back, and they added with Dembele in midfield. That's only going to strengthen them, I feel like.
I think you're right.
Thanks, man.
But I also think it doesn't matter if they don't win the Premier League. If Pochettino does not win the Premier League and or the Champions League, I suppose you could say, I think everything they've built this is the year.
I agree.
And that sucks because I don't know that think that's doable with a year where teams exist like Manchester City and like Liverpool. And let's be honest, one game and Tottenham would have ended out of the top four this year. So, I mean, one game, one way or the other. Like it was very down to the wire. They even got into the top four, which is nuts. Their season they should have ended above Chelsea. And somehow Chelsea snuck right in there.
Yep.
Yeah. I think this is do or die. We'll get to some of my other. This ties into another prediction that I have later.
But same here.
But Harry Kane.
Mine too.
Oh, I wonder if we all have the same one.
Yeah, we might.
Harry Kane scored early. He scored opening game. Usually he doesn't score until September. So my prediction is they slide in the last month and fall out of the top four.
Oh,
because
that's not the prediction I have.
Because Harry Kane doesn't score in the last month because all he does is score in the first. Backwards. Yeah.
I don't think they make the top four this season.
Ooh, I think you had that last year too, didn't you?
I don't remember.
There's a lot of talent below them.
Yeah,
Tottenham is usually pretty forgettable for me right after Christmas. So I don't I'm going to stick to my guns.
I do not know why our buddy Kim listens to the show anymore, except he keeps winning fantasy.
Kim, hang in there. I got some positive news coming your way. Don't you worry.
And oh God, I think we all have the same prediction.
I got some positive news coming your way, Kim. Don't worry.
And you got to let us know what jersey you want. I sent that on Twitter. Yeah.
Blake, take it away.
Oh, sorry. All right. So coming in 1 point below Tottenham, 70 points. Arsenal. Man, if only they'd won that game against Tottenham. Manager Unai Emery, again, this is his sophomore year with Arsenal. Exceeded expectations, I feel like, last year. If Arsenal had just tanked, it would have every Arsenal fan would be like, told you, because they were all, Arsenal TV, burn it all down. We're getting relegated. But Unai Emery is still here.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, right.
And actually, the other thing that should be listed that's I've just lost his name. The new technical director that was an Arsenal legend.
Yes.
I think this might be the biggest change for Arsenal, and I would argue that these notable ends are indicative of that. Ferris is going to pull up the name. I'm forgetting. He was an Arsenal legend, was brought in as a technical director, and he already seems to be making choices.
Adu Casper.
That's right. Adu Casper. That are filling the spots that Arsenal needs. First up was Danny Ceballos, right?
Yep. It's a good signing from Real Madrid on
loan. Big one earlier on before the transfer window closed was Nicolas Pepe. Really speedy dude down the left-footed.
Yeah.
Not starting in today's game. He's got to get up to match fitness, but
which is 0-0 in the 30th, by the way.
Yeah.
It's pissing down rain in Newcastle.
Yeah, it's a shocker.
Yeah, right.
Pepe, that's a big deal, I feel like. I feel like Pepe up front, Lacazette, Aubameyang
almost just scored.
That becomes a Liverpoolish type up front.
Yes, but will Emery play them all the time? Those three names should be on the starter sheet every single game they play.
So another reason, I think you are going to see that. They also signed, this is the big one, Kieran Tierney from Celtic.
Yeah.
Scottish national, 22 now, I believe. Left back, very good defender. Filling in that because that's where Arsenal's lacking. And then David Luiz, we mentioned earlier, coming in, and him at 32, I believe, that kind of experience. Is he center right?
I don't know, but your back three is going to be the most comedically fun, awful back three ever. Mustafi, David Luiz, and oh God, what's the other?
Papasapalopoulos. Socrates.
Socrates, Papalopoulos,
yeah.
Mustafi, and David Luiz. What a calamity of errors back there.
What you're going to see
so much fun.
Is once things are all going well, I think it'll be more of I think you'll have Kieran Tierney and
I think he'll play like the
David Luiz
and position.
Yeah, and Rob Holding. I don't know if he can stay healthy. But I think those are all good moves. Those are all things that Arsenal. This is the other thing that's being an Arsenal fan. These are all choices that everybody went. Well, when they first announced Pepe, people were excited, but also like, but we need help in the back. But those things have been addressed. But it says something about being an Arsenal fan when everybody is hailing Adu, who came in as the technical director for these choices, because people didn't go, oh my God, these are the best signings ever. They went, oh, these make sense.
But yeah,
because for a while
I think there was a little bit of a panic there.
Haven't made sense,
especially with the David Luiz. I think that's
pronounced David.
Oh, David.
Yes,
David Luiz. I think that was a little bit of a panic buy. But in terms of how panic buys go, you get somebody that's experienced in the league, that's won some titles, that has done well.
Be a leader in the
it's
back.
Not the worst panic buy that you can get.
No, and you're
and really what I think this is, I think they're gonna keep David Luiz around to train the defense, because I really think that's what helped us at Chelsea for so much, is that he came in and really gathered the back four, and when it was back three, really gathered and commanded the back three. So I think, that's when it was for Chelsea, but I think that's really going to end up helping Arsenal in the long run for someone of David Luiz's quality to train the rest of your defense.
I feel like you got a team that potentially can score a lot of goals, and they just got to see if they can lock the back down. It's not a clean sheet kind of team, but just lock it down better than they did last year. I forget what the stat was, but it's pretty high goals scored against Arsenal. Notable outs: Aaron Ramsey to Juventus, which is a shame because it's like he started peaking for Arsenal when he was announced he was gone. Petr Cech retired and now over at Chelsea as part of the goalkeeper development.
Yeah, coaching staff. Yeah.
Danny Welbeck released, who is now at the Wolves. Watford. That's right. The other W team. And then Alex Iwobi to Everton
on transfer deadline day,
so he can hang out with. Oh God, why did I just forget his name? That's terrible. The other Arsenal winger that they picked up, the Theo Walcott, the speedy guy that just never. Everton forever taking Arsenal players that kind of almost. Harsh. So,
which is why Everton is the Arsenal light.
Yeah. Wait till my predictions for the Everton and the Arsenal here.
We're gonna get to them though.
Statements.
I do think there's some good things going on with Everton right now. I don't know. It will be. Sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. These outs.
I think it was good that they kind of offset some of what they brought in and spent, and then they have to get some people off the books. And I think this was a good one. You get his, he goes for a good fee, and you get a salary off the books.
Well, for everything we said about the notable ends, it should be noted before these were announced, before even Pepe was announced, fans were in an uproar because Arsenal said they only had a budget of $40 million.
They were playing,
but they they did, as you said, offload some people. So they did a pretty good job of what it is they had to work with. Again, why everybody right now is happy with the technical director. So, question for the season: can Emery get Arsenal back in the Champions League for the first time since Wenger? I think they got a shot at it. No. I don't know if I put a stake in it saying yes just yet. I got to see how these new players gel into the group.
Unfortunately, I say no because of their back line. I think the front three.
Man, no faith in Sideshow Bob.
I know. God, no. And they have a lot of hair. Getting Doozy on there now.
Yeah.
A lot of hair. Hair products galore continue at Arsenal. But no, their back line still scares me. Their midfield's a little bit light. Their attacking three is some of the best three that you can get. However, when you think Premier League, that front three is probably like fourth or fifth down the line when you're talking City with Aguero, Sterling, Sané. When you're talking Liverpool with Mane, Firmino, and Salah. When you're talking Tottenham, Kane, Son, and Ali. So they're kind of they're down there on the best front three in the league. So I don't think I think they're going to find issues, and they're also playing again in a very strenuous tournament, which is the Europa League on Thursday night. So I hope they do well, because I would like to see Pepe, Aubameyang, and Lacazette gel and just have a wonderful goal scoring and just wonderful partnerships with all of them. But their back line scares me, and the midfield is just a little bit sparse.
What you got, Ron?
I do think they make the top four.
I haven't gotten to my predictions.
I know, but if I say yes to this question, it tells me that they're going to be in the top four, right? So yes, I think they're going to be in the top four. I think they finally play all of their attacking on the front foot, and I think that pays off very well. And I think this season for Arsenal is going to be a outscore the other guy type of game. I don't think they're going to have the solid, brick wall style defense. I think they're just going to have to outscore, and the only way they're going to do that
kind of like Liverpool from a few years back.
Yeah, Liverpool 4 seasons ago, maybe. Yeah.
Yep. We know we're going to give up a goal or two. We're just going to score 4.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I think they do it.
All right. That style of play is what I anticipate too. I anticipate it's going to be, it's a Madden kind of comment. We're going to outscore the other team, but I'm with you. It just got to be like, we are going to get scored on. So we have to put 3 in the net, like
yours.
All
right. As we move on,
we roll around to,
this is a bad omen.
6th place
in 6th
of all
with
of us,
66
the team
points
that ended the lowest.
Hey man.
Manchester.
Hey man. We fired some people. We had some changeover. Manchester United finished in 6th on 66 points. Oh, it's a bad omen right now. But anyways, that was last year, not this year.
Oh, I didn't think about that. You ended in 6th with 66 points.
Bad omen, yeah.
Ooh.
So we were destined to be there. But it's a new year. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer permanently at the wheel. Take it away. Holy my sunshine. Okay. Anyways, notable ends. Real early, good young signing. Welsh winger, very, very speedy. Daniel James from Swansea City. We also got in a fantastic right back who I have been so impressed with in preseason. Some long legs, knows when to go to ground. Mr. Aaron Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace. Very, very good signing. And then we held it late, but got it done before the deadline day. We actually got done earlier that week of the last week. Mr. Harry Maguire comes in from Leicester City. And
show me the money.
Show me the money. The most expensive defender in the world now. Now, do I think he's better than Van Dijk? No. Do I think he possibly could be? Yeah. I have mixed feelings on the ins and outs from them. I think the ins, they definitely hit a need that we needed to, an itch that we needed to scratch in the defense. I think our defense now looks very solid with Wan-Bissaka off to the right, Luke Shaw off to the left, Harry Maguire, and probably Lindelof. That's a back four that is quite sturdy and quite tasty. I like what we did there, and I like that we addressed some needs there. What I don't like is that we didn't get a playmaker in, like a Bruno Fernandes or a Dybala, any of those names that were kind of tossed around. We also didn't get in a striker, and that kind of that's going to be interesting. And I say we didn't get in a striker because the notable outs included Ander Herrera, Antonio Valencia. He was released on a free, and Ander Herrera was released on a free. Valencia was just released. But speaking of the striker that I was just referring to, Romelu Lukaku finally leaves for Inter, the long saga of the summer, on a permanent move. And it was a good piece of business because United offloaded somebody that wasn't going to fit into their style, somebody that Ole didn't wanted, but we recouped a majority of those funds back for what we bought him for a few years back from Everton.
It made your record signing not feel so huge too. Like it cut, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, smart move.
A very, very smart move and a good move for Inter, who Icardi over there is really an afterthought going into this year. But that puts Rashford leads the line. Antonio Martial just got the number 9 kit back. So you have those two as your primary strikers, who I like, and offer some pace. And then you have young 17-year-old Mason Greenwood, who those are going to be your 3 strikers for at least now until January. What I don't like is there's not really a different kind of striker and all of that. You don't have a big bruising number 9 hold up, pump the ball up to and have them hold it up type. Not necessarily a bad thing.
You didn't have that last year either, and you had one of those types.
Well, we had Fellaini for a bit, and we had Lukaku.
You didn't play Fellaini nearly enough for him to be effective.
No, Mourinho did though. Well, he would come on as the auxiliary number 9 in the later stages of the game, and believe it or not, Fellaini did win us a few games. But I'm not overly concerned because those are 3 very talented young strikers that the way that Ole wants to play, I think they're all going to fit in very well. So again, but I would have liked somebody behind them to create a little bit more. Pogba looks like he's going to stay, which is fantastic. But that number, like Bruno Fernandes for me, would have opened up space for this team, and I thought he would have fit in well behind some talented young folks. And then you bring Daniel James will either start or come off the bench and kind of inject a bit of pace into the team. So not a bad window for United. It could have been better. But all in all, with all that said, can Ole survive a full season, 1, and then 2, can he get United back into the Champions League?
Your question's not fair because I feel like that gets into our predictions in one way.
A lot of them have.
Mm-hmm.
It's true, but this is very specific. But I just loved Ferris's question about can they get back in the Champions League? And my question I would have written instead was, can they stay in the top 6?
Oh, that's harsh.
And I'm not even being harsh. I just think this is places 3 through 6 are going to be bananas to fight for.
Yes. We fought for top 6 last year. We shipped the most goals out of the top 6, which is why we are in 6th. We shored up our back line. I think we addressed.
So you're going to have to reverse season of Arsenal. You'll have a stout back line and then no one can score.
No, because I think Rashford can. I think Martial can. Both of them have shown that they can. I also think that this is a very big shout. So don't yell at me here. If Sanchez can rekindle his form of a few years,
does he still play?
Just laugh. Yeah, go on, you bunch of bastards. If Sanchez can come back from his form from the Copa in the off season, if he comes back and can rekindle any sort of that form that he's had in years past, I think that's like an extra signing. So. To answer, yes, Ole does survive. He won't get sacked this season unless things go really sideways, but I really doubt that's going to happen. They're going to give him at least a full season. And then 2, I do think they get back into the Champions League. Now, remember, I didn't say they're going to make top 4. They're also in the Europa League, so they could win that and get back in that way too. So
fair enough.
I do think they can. Ron?
No, I think they don't. I think while the attacking core shows a bit of promise and your defense looks good, I think the only way Pogba is good in the midfield is when he has people like Herrera, who you didn't replace, and Matic there to give him that freedom. You don't have that freedom for Pogba very much anymore, and I think that really ultimately hurts you in the end. So no, I don't think you make it to Champions League, but Ole does survive the season.
I think you will hear a ton of rumors swirling around January, whether it happens or not, that Pogba's going somewhere else or wants to. I think I could see that happening.
But I think those were a foregone conclusion considering how much they were before.
Yeah.
Like in this summer transfer, all those rumors were flying. So I think whether he's happy or not, we're going to hear those rumors.
Be an interesting year at Old Trafford.
Yes, it will. I'm going to do something different for the sake of time.
Do it.
Speed us along. But I actually think this is a perfect thing to do. The next 3 clubs, 7th, 8th, 9th respectively, Wolverhampton Wanderers ended with 57 points, Everton with 54 points, Leicester City with 52. I think the most interesting things to watch, some will be one of the most interesting to watch this season, will be Wolverhampton, Everton, and Leicester City. This is who can screw up the top 6 for those teams that have been used to sitting in it.
Agreed. I have one of those teams going into my top 6.
Yeah, Wolverhampton made great moves, passionate manager, just they look very dangerous.
But they're fighting on a different front. They are now in the Europa League. They play 3 games, and do they have the depth, which a lot of these teams from about 7th down, do they have the depth to fight on two fronts?
Do they have
especially a very long Europa League?
They got another 2-leg because they got to play to get into the Europa League.
They are in. They played earlier this week, and they are in. They played 3 qualifying games where Burnley got knocked out in one of those last year.
Yeah,
they are qualified into the tournament now.
Yeah, that's gonna be big for them. But I do think that this group of 3 are the guys that can make things terrible for the big clubs up top in the Big Six.
Agreed. I think Everton and Leicester have the best opinion. Both made very good signings. Moise Keane was the big name signing coming in for Everton. And then Telemans and Aoni Perez for Leicester City came in. I think those are going to be some big signings for them. But I think those two teams could see some movement, and they're the ones, in my opinion, that can really fight for those top 6.
I think Everton's going to have a great defense too.
Possibly
for this season. What you got, Ron?
I think Leicester City made 2 very good signings. I don't necessarily agree with getting rid of Okazaki. They sent him out, and he goes to Malaga, if I'm not mistaken.
Malaga.
I think, yeah, thank you. He's, I think he was last season one of the bright spots coming in to spark the team, kind of a Mueller from Orlando City in the MLS. You know, if you start him, he doesn't have that great a game, but man, you're down a goal at halftime, you bring him in at half, he is the spark that ignites the team. And no, he didn't have that quite that much last season, but there was so much going on at Leicester that made that a little difficult for him. I just think under Brendan Rodgers, he would have done that. So I think they're going to end up in 9th again. I think Everton, Wolverhampton will do much better than Leicester this season.
Are you saying Okazaki is the spark that lights the fire, that lights the rebellion? Ooh, got a Star Wars quote in. All right, there we go. I was so skinny.
Are we still the Brewtiful Game? Where did we change?
Yes, I just cracked a beer, so yes, we absolutely are. I'm just going to
you know, top us off here?
Top us off with this Tupac Shaporter, which is amazing.
So, you gents mind if I kind of drive us forward ahead then?
Yeah, go.
I want to get to some of this other stuff too. Here, I'll give you my glass as well, Ferris. I'll take a top off.
Yes, sir.
You know what? Actually, I think we can talk a little bit. We can look at West Ham a little bit. We don't have to go into super details. West Ham is a team that a lot of people feel like will have a better season this go round. I mean, they did get the slobber knocker against Man City, but you like that? That's an old John Madden slobber knocker. But I mean, it's also Man City. It could have been Arsenal. It could have been Man United. You know what I mean? Like right now, Man City's still looking really good. So I don't know how
slobber knocker.
Slobber knocker.
God, what? God damn it! Pot of neck, throat, and slobber knockers.
Well, now you know. Now you know the rest of the story. But yeah, I could see them having a slightly better season. Some folks think I don't know.
A big signing, Sebastian Haller from Eintracht Frankfurt. Their most expensive signing ever. I think at £45 million. He comes in, and I think he's going to have a great year. I think you'll see him get 10 plus goals, and he'll kind of fill that gap left behind from Marko Arnautovic. I think they made some good signings. I think seeing them in the Man City game, that's not quite how their season's going to go, I don't think. I think they are going to be okay. I think they'll probably end about where they are now, in 10th.
That's would be I think so too. I agree with that. Ron? I
think they're going to fall a little lower than that. They're really going to miss Arnautovic for being that playmaker when they need it.
Yeah.
He goes to Shanghai. So he comes here, which means I get to watch him play.
Yeah.
So I think they're more 12th, 13th slot than I do 10, but that's just me.
That reminds me, we gotta get Ron to. I know you went to one match already, but like give us a full report. That short little FaceTime you showed me of the match was awesome for the Chinese Super League.
Oh yeah, we'll do that on the next pod.
So this moves us down on to Watford. I could easily see Watford. I love your one question for the season, Ferris. Same as last year for Watford. I could just see them, a victory would be getting into the top 10, But
Agreed.
But I could. That's
pretty much the same.
Well, some good business all around in a club that's really just stamping their flag in the Premier League as a permanent stay.
I hope Danny Welbeck has a great time.
I do too.
I mean, he's had so many injuries.
Has to stay fit. That's key.
And just I hope he can have a good time.
But
there.
the Andre Gray and Troy Deeney kind of trio there, if they can click with Delafeo, real nice.
Yeah,
that's real nice, Clark. Crystal Palace, they finished on 49th at 12th. I feel like the biggest problem for them is they signed Gary Cahill, so they're already at negative goal differential at this point.
That's too true.
Oh, man.
Crystal Palace could struggle.
They could.
I could see them. Yeah, I could see them having a really rough time staying in the league.
Continue to struggle.
Yes.
They have a lot in midfield, nobody up front.
Honest.
You're right, Ron. Those 49 points sound better than the season did,
Right.
Like, they're going to be in a relegation struggle without a doubt.
And if they lose Zaha in the winter transfer window, then they're in real problems. Thankfully, they kept him, so that's a win, and that's going to be like a signing for them. But if they lose him at all, that's a huge loss.
If they can keep Wilfred Zaha through the year, they can make a lot of money on him for clubs that definitely need, Chelsea and stuff that need strikers.
I don't think they're going to keep him all season.
I don't know. I think they keep him all unless it gets toxic, and if you get that situation, then I could see that happening. Next up, gentlemen, the gift that keeps on giving the whole
year long.
It's not Newcastle anymore. It's Steve Bruce's Newcastle.
He worked really hard, Grandma.
Yeah.
So the washing machine.
That glorious pink, burnt, beached whale is back. And
I love it.
I kind of think he might get a little of the Frank Lampard treatment in the way things were with Rafa Benitez and the way things were left, where he made it clear that he was not given the support he wanted. I don't think fans will be harsh on Steve Bruce. Right now, I don't know what's the score right now.
It's 0-0 in the Arsenal Newcastle game. They will be only because Stevie Bruce is a Geordie, true and true. But he was a longtime coach of Newcastle's rivals, Sunderland.
Oh, Sunderland. Yeah.
But they had some good signings here, and I don't know about Newcastle. I honestly, I could see them getting really okay.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ron. I mean, they were in. We kept saying week after week they're going to stay, and yes, they ended the season in 13 with 45 points. But there was a while there they were always just in or just out of that relegation spot.
And I think Newcastle will end where Brighton did last year, just barely surviving in 17th from an Andy Carroll.
Nutted into the back of the net.
Nutted into the back of the net goal that just keeps them up on the last day.
Just when you think it's all over, Andy Carroll nuts one in the back of the net. Yeah, I can see that. I agree. Like a Brighton type of finish to the season, I can see that.
Yep. Teetering on the brink.
Our favorite club, our second supporting club we all like, Bournemouth. They finished 14th on 45 points. Eddie Howe finally in his 40s, but still at least 12, I think.
Yeah, right.
Right.
They'll be just above Newcastle, in my opinion. They're still going to fight to stay in the league, but I hope they do it again.
I feel like they've made some moves that they will be more competitive. I don't know about top 10, but maybe knocking on the door.
I think the signings they made were a life preserver. They stay 13th or 14th in the league. I don't think they climb too much higher.
Agreed.
Well, dang, y'all. All right. We got a little dissension in the ranks.
Up the cherries.
Still think Eddie Howe, though, one hell of a manager because he's doing what he can with what they have.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that guy's got a big future.
And everybody wants to play for him.
That is also huge.
That goes a long way. And
that's the thing. Along the way, there's a good possibility he could sign someone that you would have been shocked that they got because they just want to play with him. This moves us over to Burnley, a team that was also very close to not being in the league. especially considering the year they had prior. Burnley was so great, and then this year they were just struggling to stay in. So still got the Scottish Jose Mourinho with Sean Dyche in. I think this is going to be a relegation battle for these guys this year. That's my take.
I agree, but I think with the signings that they made, they are going to survive. I think J.V. Rodriguez is a good signing. I think Danny Drinkwater, I know he may not want to be there, but if he can rekindle any sort of form that he had at Leicester, I think that is a very good signing for Burnley and one that could possibly just barely get them over the relegation line. Yeah,
agreed. I think they're going to be just slightly higher. It's, again, another life preserver.
This moves us over to another team that I have a lot of teams that I think could be out. Southampton, they finished 16th with 39 points.
They gone.
That's the thing. This 16th and 17th place, they did not even make that vaunted 40 points of safety. They didn't even get those.
Bye, Felicia.
No, other teams put them there. They didn't put themselves there.
Yes, they were really lucky that Huddersfield existed. Huddersfield and Fulham were so wretched that they saved Brighton, Southampton, and maybe even Burnley. Yeah, in another year, those three would have gone out easily, right? Which then that rounds around to Brighton, Hove and Albion.
Poor Chris Hughton. Why? How do you sack that man? He got you survival.
That I agree.
That's harsh. Just for that alone, I hope they go down.
I hate it because I do love their stadium. So pretty.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, man. I don't understand. I do think picking up Aaron Moy is a good
yes, late on loan.
Yeah.
But who's going to put the ball in the back of the net for him?
Moy.
Yeah, that's you're putting it up on a wing and a prayer for that one. I mean, Moy can score, but he's not the put the team on your back and win one for the Gipper type guy. So
exactly.
Gipper.
That's going to be a rough one.
And then of course our relegated teams. First up, Cardiff City. So now officially no more teams from Wales, right? Because we went from Swansea into Cardiff City.
Correct.
So no Welsh representation. Come on.
Well, we have Stevie Bruce back.
Come on, Swansea. You got to get back in here. Fulham relegated. Cardiff City's relegated on 34 points. And that went down to the wire to the end of the season. It could have been them or Brighton. Fulham relegated on 26 points. And man, we hate to see it happen, but Patrick Stewart's Huddersfield relegated to 16 points.
And they could go down again in the championship. That's the sad part.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not coming back.
Oh, no. But you know what is coming back? Freaking Jean-Luc Picard in the new Star Trek series Picard. And I'm super excited to watch him in that. Nerd alert. I don't know if you watched that trailer yet, Ron. I'm like, damn it, I'm going to have to pay for CBS Access for 2 months while this show is on because it looks awesome. It's Patrick Stewart is Picard. He even says engage on the show. Oh, I'm so happy. But I will miss following his Twitter whenever. Well, it didn't happen much last year. Whenever Huddersfield did well, he was always hysterical on the Twitter. Okay, so this moves us then into one of our favorite segments of every year. Is then we need to look at the three newly promoted teams, where Ron has some fun facts. First up, we've got Norwich City, who finished first in the championship, 94 points. That's a lot stat for that league.
That's good.
And they earned automatic promotion. Their manager is Danielle Fark. Notable ends, Ralph Farman from Schalke. I like that you got, and 10 others.
It's a lot.
It is a very new team. But last year, we said that about the Wolves. Are they going to be any good? Because it's such a group of new people that came in. So we shall see. Notable outs were Marcel Franck. He's over to Hanover 96 and 10 out for loan. So question for the season. I just like that it says, take it away, Ron.
Question for this season.
Tell us a story, Papa Ron, about good old Norwich FC.
City. On the eastern front of England.
City. One blustery morning in June of 1902, three gentlemen got together and formed Norwich City. They are the Canaries, or just City. They were first promoted to the top flight in English football in 1972.
Good year.
And they've won the League Cup twice, once in 62 and once in 85. And they've never won a top flight since, but they did finish third in 1993. Here's the cool. So real quick, they play at their stadium is Carrow Road, holds 27,244 people. They play in the traditional green and yellows. They have an away color that's red and yellow, and their third kit is all in black. But here's the coolest thing about the Canaries: the fans sing a song called "On the Ball City," which is the oldest football chant in recorded history in the world.
That is awesome.
Guess when it was written.
Wait, when did you say they got formed?
They were formed. So they were officially formed for top flight play in 1902.
Let's say 1913. Ferris, what's your closest without going over?
1916.
Oh, you're both wrong. 1890.
Whoa.
The reason is because they were a football club well before that, and they were pretty much the only thing around Norwich, which is in Norfolk, for quite some time. So fans from all over would come and play, and they made the oldest written football chant in the entire world. And the cool thing is, it's still sung on their grounds today.
That's
rad.
Cool. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That was a good one.
Good old Canary.
All the way from Beijing. Thanks, Ron.
Should I move to the next one, Mr. Keller?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I'm so excited for this team.
One of my favorite badges.
I want this kit. I'm getting this kit.
Sheffield United FC. They finished second in the championship on 89 points, earning automatic promotion. Their manager's Chris Wilder. Notable ends, Phil Jagielka.
Going back.
Good one. Ravel Morrison.
Sneaky good.
And Dean Henderson from Manchester United on loan.
Who's starting for them, by the way? And more importantly, they have Billy Sharp.
Yeah. Oh,
God,
yes.
I love Billy Sharp. I have been a fan of his. He is like the ultimate Sheffield United, just everything. And he scored yesterday. Oh my God, he is brilliant. Good, just scrappy. Kind of like a better all around, better touch, better goal scoring, better looking Charlie Austin. Like he is just, God, I love him. Billy Sharp's going to keep them up. Mark my words.
That was amazing. That's Ferris's hidden Zlatan love.
Yes, I love him.
That was a pretty sweet. Well, it wasn't a great goal, just a scrappy goal.
Who gives a shit? It went in.
Yeah, it was great.
I have some fun facts about this one that will make Billy Sharp even more integral to this team when we get to it.
Let's see. Well, no, I guess that's got us because the noticeable outs are just 5 released, 7 out on loan. So yeah, take it away, Ron.
All right. So Sheffield United Football Club, nickname the Blades.
Oh, wicked.
So
yeah, one of the best names.
Billy Sharp plays on the Blades, which I thought was awesome. They play all of their games in Bramall Lane, which is a nice little stadium that holds 32,609. This is a pretty cool. They have a pretty cool story. This club was formed by members of the Sheffield United Cricket Club in 1854.
That's so rad.
Yeah. So formed in 1854, the first English sports club in all of English sports to use United in its name. So
that's
Manchester
cool.
United,
that's cool.
You can thank them for that. Sheffield United's nickname is the Blades, which is reference to Sheffield's status as a major producer of cutlery for the UK. Their
cool
original, isn't that weird? This is a good team. They have such a weird and rich history. So their original name was actually the Cutlers from about 1890.
Say that again?
1880. Their original nickname was the Cutlers, and that took place from about 1889 to 1912. But their rivals, who is Sheffield Wednesday, kind of used the Blades nickname on them as an insult. And then it stuck.
That's not an insult. That's cool.
Badass.
Well,
Yeah.
at the time, it was a bit of an insult.
I'll give you insult.
So Sheffield United this is also pretty cool, by members of the three members of the cricket club. Sheffield United is officially formed on the 22nd of March, 1889 at the Adelphi Hotel in Sheffield, which is funny because now it's the site of the famous Crucible Theater.
Crucible.
And then these guys have the best name. This guy has the best name. The president of the cricket club, Sir Charles Clegg, is the guy who founded it.
Yes,
I saw that name and I was like, that's just it's such a good British character name. Charles Clegg.
Yeah. Yes.
Downtown
Sir
Abbey.
Charles Clegg.
Sir Charles Clegg.
my
You
apologies.
plebeian.
So yeah, they have a pretty rich history. Sheffield won the original football league in 1898, the FA Cup in 1899, 1902, 1915, and 1925. They were beaten as finalists in the FA Cup in 1901 and 1936. They reached the semis of the League Cup in 2013 and 2015. So of late, they have had not that much success. So we'll see how successful they are. I'm sure when we get into our teams that go up or down, we may have these guys in there a bit. But a good, rich history on this team, and it should be fun to watch them play.
I really like the United fact. I think that's cool because it's just
That is
something
very
that's so
cool, yeah.
ubiquitous with both soccer clubs across the world, but it was the cricket club that was called that. So first,
Yeah.
I'm excited for this team to be back in the Premier League. I'm excited for Billy Sharp to be in the Premier League. What a rich history there. A team that earned this, that played very, very well. They were only 5 points behind Norwich. And with the signing of Ravel Morrison, who was once touted by Sir Alex Ferguson as the most talented player that he's ever seen. He's a lot of off-field troubles, but if he can snatch on to any of what he kind of, I don't want to say once was, but snatch on to the talent that he has and put his mindset fully towards football, this could really unlock something for Sheffield and really help to keep them in the league. I think he's going to be key. And then Billy Sharp, if he produces goals, which he did in the first game in Bournemouth, and they are going to go on the back of their home form primarily, but also Ravel Morrison and Sharp. I'm excited to see Sheffield United play. They are my kind of second.
they're your Fulham this year.
They are my Fulham this year. Yes, love them.
Can't wait to see the atmosphere at their stadium because their supporter atmosphere at the Bournemouth game was awesome.
They were louder than the Bournemouth.
They were, yeah. This moves over to a familiar team knocked just out of the Premier League back in 2016, and now they're back. Aston Villa. They finished 5th in the championship on 76 points. Quite a big stretch from them in the top two there. Earning promotion by defeating Derby County, Frank Lampard's Derby County, 2-1.
And Wayne Rooney's Derby County.
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, we're going to get there. In the promotion playoffs final. You are right. Wayne Rooney is going to go on the coaching staff at Derby.
Player coach for Derby come January.
So not the head coach.
No.
But a player coach.
Player coach for Derby
In January.
after the season, after the MLS season in January. Yeah.
Ferris is going to go buy a Derby jersey now.
Why not?
You know what's funny? I mean, they certainly, can you say they traded up or down because Lampard left? You know, like Lampard leaves and now you have player coach Wayne Rooney coming in.
Well, but he's not the head coach.
No, but still, like, it's still a great influence on the team.
Oh,
overall.
yeah.
absolutely.
And you actually
Absolutely.
get to play with him. You, as you're a player, you know, I'm not just going to play this year. I'm going to get developed. You know what I mean? So,
That's cool.
I think it's a pretty good way to help keep your good players on that club, and be interested to see if they can. What if they get promoted next year? What if they get promoted and Wayne Rooney's back in the Premier League?
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Derby County. I didn't even think about that. That would be crazy. So yes, Aston Villa finishing 5th, as I said, 76 points. Manager Dean Smith, their notable ends, Matt Targett, Tyrone Mings, from Bournemouth, Tom Heaton from
That's a
Burnley.
really good signing. He had a hell of a game yesterday.
And there were not 9 others brought in on permanent deals. Their notable outs are people you might not be that familiar with. Just
Tommy Elphick.
Tommy Elphick is a great name. He goes to Huddersfield. But a bunch of people released, and this tends to be a ton of people released because you're moving through the Premier League, you're trying to offload and get some new
They're
players.
almost doing the Fulham system of last year, which I think could get them into a little bit of problems.
You mean
A lot of ins and outs, a lot of permanent
Yeah.
deals, basically a whole different team than what got them up. It's going to be different for the Villa.
all right, Ron, tell us about Aston Villa.
Aston Villa Football Club, nicknamed the Villains, the Villa, the Lions, the Clarets, and the Blue Army.
That's too many nicknames.
The Clarets
I know.
are usually the most pronounced, I think.
And the villains, I think those two.
Yeah. Founded in 1874, they are the oldest of the 3 new teams at 144 years old.
That's crazy.
Way old.
Yeah, they have a fierce rivalry with Birmingham City, and they play the Second City Derby, and that has been played every year since 1879. One of the oldest derbies in modern football. This is pretty cool. A very British bunch of guys forms this team. Aston Villa Football Club is formed March 1874 by members of the Villa Cross Wesleyan Chapel in Handsworth, which is part of Birmingham now. The 4 founders of Aston Villa were Jack Hughes, Frederick Matthews, Walter Price, and wait for it, William Scattergood. What a great name. So these guys
That sounds like a
essentially
D&D name.
William Scattergood.
Yeah. He's our archer.
William Scattergood.
That's a
Aubameyang with a goal.
Yeah, Aubameyang, for those of you.
That's my captain for this
cares?
week's Premier League Fantasy. Sorry,
So
Ron.
Aston Villa's first match ever was played against the local Aston Brook St. Mary's rugby team.
Say
And
that 5 times fast.
this is a great little story too. As a condition of the match, the Villa side had to agree to play the first half under rugby rules and the second half under the Football Association.
What? So it was a half rugby game, then half football game?
Yes.
That's
Why the hell has that not happened again? That is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
if
have,
you were like some kind of owner of like a 4th or 5th tier English club that was just looking to like hang
a little
on,
bit of, yeah.
I would find the equivalent rugby club. That would be
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, your first match ever as a football club, you play half rugby, half football.
What year was that?
Aston, that was 1875.
That's awesome. That's
Fantastic.
That's a tradition that needs to come back.
Yeah, pretty entertaining. Aston Villa's had quite a good history. They won their first FA Cup in 1887 with a man named Archie Hunter becoming one of English football's first household names. So this guy did so much for the team. He was, the Paul Pogba or the Rashford or whomever you want as a household name. That's where all of this superstardom kind of comes from, is this Villa team. They were one of about a dozen teams that competed in the inaugural Football League in 1888, and they had a huge success, winning no fewer than 5 league titles and 3 FA Cups by the end of Queen Victoria's reign. So they were quite.
That's a crazy stat.
Yeah.
The best club under Queen Victoria's reign.
Yeah. In 1897 that's the year Villa won the double, meaning they won both the FA Cup and the league title, because obviously Champions League wasn't around yet. And as a result of that, they moved to their present home. Their present stadium, Villa Park, holds 42,785, and it's going to be an entertaining time to watch. This club has a lot of history and a lot of popularity throughout the world, kind of on the order of, they're not the greatest team right now, but, Newcastle has such a worldwide following. Aston Villa is very similar. So this is going to be a fun season for them. We'll see how that all turns out.
And I think because some of the clubs we mentioned earlier, them, along with the other 2 newly funded clubs, have a better shot of trying to stay in.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. So
Prediction
there's your history on the 3 new clubs.
So glad
Thank you, Ron. That's awesome.
Get you in from Beijing. I was like, if we don't have a season, we get Ron's interesting facts.
And you always share just such fun, interesting things with the United fact, Queen Victoria. Like it's fantastic.
So does this move?
It's fun to do the research for some of this stuff.
Oh yeah, and I mean, come Halloween again, you've got to do another spooky.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Spooky football stories.
Don't you worry, I'm working on the Halloween special already.
Oh,
yes.
I like it.
That makes me happy.
Prediction time.
Prediction time.
Thank you.
You like that was like half a trumpet, and then it went to your.
Yeah, I like it. Just kind of. All right, gents. Here we go. As we do every year. Golden Boot. First manager gets sacked. Name your 3 teams going down. Leicester's prediction of the year, and then name your top 4 from first to 4th. Start with Golden Boot. Mr. Ron, who do you got winning the Golden Boot this year?
It's Harry Kane's year.
Oh, yeah. I'm not even going to waste any time. I'm going right there with you as well. I think Mr. Harry Kane will snatch that as well.
Interesting. Wow, you guys both went Harry Kane. I think I had picked Aubameyang last year, and he was one of the 3.
I think you and I both did.
Got it. I think that he won't get it again because Arsenal's got more goal scorers, although he did just score a goal just now.
Yep.
I'm going to go with someone that had a very good weekend who I think is poised to have a fantastic season.
Oh,
I think Raheem Sterling could be the Golden Boot winner of the year.
Ooh.
Man, I thought about that one. I think that he just doesn't have. So,
I think he's got a team
using some of your logic about why you didn't take Aubameyang is why I didn't take Sterling.
Exactly.
No, that's a fair assumption. I don't know. I feel like kids can have a good year.
All right, gents. First manager to get sacked. A little bit harsh, but here we go. Blake, take it away.
Can I predict a whole scenario?
Sure.
Tottenham ends out of the top 4 because by January, after having a rough start of the season,
no way a manager. No,
wait for it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets fired from Man United.
Oh no!
And in January, Pochettino comes into Man United like they wanted the whole time, and this causes problems for both Tottenham and keeps Man United fighting to just stay somewhere in the top 6. There you go.
God, you're drunk at 10:30 in the morning.
That's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't want him to go. I like Andy Serkis. I like Gollum, but that's my prediction.
Okay. Ron?
Oh, man, this one's a tough one because I could easily see West Ham just tanking it and Pellegrini gets the sack. Or you could just watch Southampton continue to crumble and Ralph, how do you say his last name? Yeah, I think it's a toss-up between the two of them. So I'm going to go with Southampton sacks Ralph.
Southampton sacks Ralph. Sounds like a next film. I think the sacking bug that Brighton have been on has kind of hit them a bit, and I think Graham Potter gets he's the first one in the Premier League to see the door, and they just spiral on from there.
Interesting.
I would like to add to my overall prediction with my scenario in that I do think it's going to be a bit before we get a sacking this year.
I was thinking the same thing because there are a lot of managers that you don't, for like Marco Silva and Roy Hodgson and Javi Garcia and Brendan Rodgers, Nino Espirito Santo, one of the best names in the game. Yes. They're all kind of, they have to really mess up to get sacked.
And it also becomes a scenario of who are you going to get?
At
right?
this point, yeah.
And so, like, Newcastle's struggling. Are you going to get rid of Steve Bruce? Who are you going to get? You know what I mean? Yes, I think it's going to take a little bit before we get there. I forget
agree.
last year when the first one hit, but I think it'll take a little bit. And that's the only reason, by the way, that I said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. In any other season, I think someone's going to go first. But it could be a bit. It could take a little bit of the season. If it does, and Man United is really struggling, you get Pochettino.
Speaking of Man United, we'll stay on the negative bus here for a second and name your three teams going down. I guess I'll start this off since I haven't started one off yet. I think Southampton going down, unfortunately. I think Brighton and Hove are going down. And then I think the Villa is going down.
Well, you don't think that?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Not, yes. The Villa are going down.
You think Aston Villa will? Wow, all right.
Yep.
Ooh,
man.
So close.
Well, we had Matt call back as a listener. Now he's left already.
he got 2 seconds into the podcast.
Our one Aston Villa fan.
Yeah, exactly. Who's next?
I'll take it.
Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
Southampton. See ya.
Bye.
Brighton Hove and Albion. See ya. And last but not least, the Canaries. Norwich, you're gone.
That was almost going to be my...
And interesting, because Ferris picks Aston Villa, who didn't end Championship League as high as Norwich. Ron, you go with the top team from the Championship
Mine was
League.
almost the exact same as Ron.
But there is something about that. I could see, because of Villa's experience not that long ago being in the Premier League, I feel like it does give them a bit of a leg, even though they come in, having to fight to get into the Premier League.
Yeah.
I'm going to go bottom of the league. I'll even give you my order. I think bottom of the league is Brighton Hove. They are this year's Huddersfield, and it's bad.
They go.
And I think finally Southampton is next, just above them. I think so. I guess we all feel that way.
Yeah, we do.
I feel like I need to pick a newly promoted team, but all the teams last year managed to 2 years ago, right, managed to survive. Correct. So it's happened.
There's not been a time where all three have. I don't think there's been a time where all three have come up and gone straight back down. I don't think it's ever happened.
Oh, gone up and come. No. I don't think that's happened. But they've all stayed before. I feel like I should pick one of the new clubs, but I'm not going to lie. Part of me wants to pick Newcastle.
Boom, there it is. Do it.
But I feel like that's silly. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick Newcastle. Yep, I'll go Newcastle in 18th, Southampton in 19th, and Brighton in 20th. There you go. Welcome to the Premier League, Norwich, Sheffield, and Aston Villa. I think you'll all three stay.
Okay. What is next?
The Leicester-ish tradition of the year.
Yes.
Just in case it's been a while since, if you're a new soccer fan, we are referring to how Leicester came out of nowhere and won the Premier League.
And that was the first year we started the pod, which is why we stick with it.
Yep. So this is one of our first questions on our very first episodes. What's your Leicester-ish prediction for the following year? Who starts this one? Has Ron started one?
Yeah, he started one.
He started one. I guess I should go back to me. You just started one?
Sure.
My Leicester-ish prediction of the year. This doesn't feel super Leicester-ishy because they are a big team, but they have just not been for a bit. I think Everton in the top 6.
So I will.
That's not super Leicester-ishy though.
But okay, I will go one up on that. I will say Everton in top 6. I have a lot of Leicester's predictions, but I will build off of that and tell you mine. Everton in top 6, Arsenal out of the top 6.
You forgot about Man United. We'll be fine.
There's my Leicester's.
I already told you you're going to have a bad half of the season and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is getting fired. So anyway.
Okay. We'll see.
All right, Ron, what's yours?
Wolves in the Champions League.
Okay, man.
Wow.
This is the one.
That's in my opinion, that is very Leicester-ish.
That's a very Leicester-ish, and it was definitely one that was on my docket to think of. That's actually pretty awesome.
The champions. Wolverhampton.
Now pay them $5.
Exactly. All good ones there. So we have Everton in the top 6 from Blake, Everton in top 6, Arsenal out of top 6 from me, and Wolves in the Champions League. I like it. All right, gents. Top 4 starting from 1 going to 4.
All right, I just started. Who starts next?
I'll start. I'll start us off with the bang here.
All right.
In 1.
Jeez.
The team with the new stadium. The team with signings for the first time in like 17 years. The team that will sneak in while Liverpool and Man City are throwing punches at each other and fighting on all sorts of fronts.
No way.
The Spurs in number 1 this year. And Pochettino finally is vindicated. And then in the summer probably comes to Man United. But nonetheless, Tottenham in 1. Then have Liverpool barely missing out yet again. Man City in 3, but they win the Champions League. And then United return to the top 4. Man United make the Champions League again and get close in the Europa League.
Wow, you're high.
So, hey, well, no,
say it one more time.
All right, so I have Tottenham winning the league, Liverpool 2nd, Man City 3rd, and United in 4th.
Wow.
All right.
When you have a back line of, this is what's starting today for against your Chelsea. David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, and Shaw all starting. McTominay, Pereira, Pogba, Lingard, Martial, and Rashford. I like it.
I'm not even talking about Man United.
Don't you worry about
Tottenham in first? What are you, crazy?
Mark my words. While the other two are duking it out, City win the Champions League, Liverpool sustains some injuries and don't quite get there yet again, and Tottenham just kind of sneak through while mommy and daddy are over there fighting, and boom, get in.
I do think it's got to happen now or never.
Yeah. Boom. Next up. Go ahead.
How many years are we going to say that?
I'm saying this year.
I think this year definitely is.
I've called it.
I think Pochettino goes somewhere else or players go somewhere. Something's got to change. Something's got to happen.
All right.
Ron?
Liverpool finally makes it. I think it's a reverse of this year. Man City loses a key match to somebody, maybe even Liverpool, and that puts them behind. So Liverpool takes the first spot. City takes the second. Arsenal with a after Christmas surge that puts them in third.
Who is that?
Arsenal.
And to hold true to my Leicester-ish prediction, Wolves in fourth.
So you are putting your Leicester's prediction along with your actual prediction for the top four. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I love it, though. We just had a knock on the door. It was my daughter. Ferris just opened it, and it's a game of peekaboo that's happening right now. It's adorable. Because there's nothing like your kid walking in and seeing daddy having a beer at 10 in the morning.
Parent of the year right here.
Daddy doesn't have a problem.
You got a problem for judging me. Hey, it's 12-hour time difference. We're doing what we can.
Exactly.
We're working to make it happen.
Hey, life is good. No worries.
Yeah. So then that leaves me with my top four. I think that I partially agree with Ron. I'm going to say Liverpool first. I think Man City is just too friggin' good, and they still end up in second, doing very strong. I think third. Oh, man.
I'm sorry. Who did Ron have in fourth?
Wolves.
Wolves. Oh, that's right. He did. Yeah.
Man, I think Chelsea's going to have some struggles. I struggle with putting them in the top four. I'm not sure.
Yeah, me and you both.
Man, I definitely Liverpool than Man City. I think. Okay, I'll preface it just as this year. After we move past second place, there is a large gap in points.
Agreed.
So I don't want to make it sound like these third and fourth. Was this year. I don't want to make it sound like third and fourth were close to getting first and second, right? Same as this year.
Right.
So a big gap there. But I don't say this because I will put Arsenal at third, not because I think they'll be fantastic, but just because I think they're going to be in that pack of the rest of the top six.
Because the hair will get them there?
The hair will get them there. just a thin line. I think you will see Arsenal in third, really happy because Tottenham will be in fourth.
Damn it, you ass.
He's like looking at me, smiling, pointing at his jersey like us. I just because I think Tottenham will come in. I think they will it'll be a battle between the two of them. And it'll be just like it was this year almost. They'll slip just under. And then I think of Man United, then Chelsea. Actually,
don't say it.
I don't know, man. It all depends on how Chelsea does, whether the Wolves or Everton. See, but that's where I think the top six gets real interesting. But anyway, my top four, Liverpool, Man City. I'm not bragging here. I'm saying it's a fight between those next three, and I think it goes to Arsenal, then Tottenham. Only because Tottenham's been slipping harder at the very end. Not because I'm like, we're going to end above Tottenham. I don't want it to sound like that. That's not how I feel about it. It's just looking at the things.
Right.
Okay. Those are all very interesting picks. I think those are probably the most interesting picks that we've had since doing this.
Well, dude,
those are
I'm
all,
telling you, those slots 3 through 6 are wide open, man. I mean,
3 through 6 is going to have such a tight point gap between each other, but it'll be far from the league leaders.
Look, absolutely.
2 of the 3 of us could all be sitting outside of the of Europe if Everton and the Wolves manage to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like it could possibly, it could easily happen.
Yeah, and I just think I think Wolves they're not used to having to fight on a couple fronts, and especially in the Europa League, which is
Everton doesn't have to deal with that.
No, they don't. So that's where I think they can sneak in and make the top 6. Going to my Leicester prediction.
Nah, they're gonna continue to choke like they always do.
Okay.
Oh man, another Premier League prediction episode in the books.
Love it.
Oh man.
What, number 4?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That would be it. We're going to wrap up now because Ferris has got to hit the road to make it to, you going to Cookie Can?
I think we're going downtown to the Kelp.
Oh, sweet. Going to go to the Kelp, go watch a little Man United.
And you guys are going to the aquarium?
I think we may take a little one to the aquarium because my work schedule is like a little nuts. I think we're going to take a little family trip out today.
And Ron's probably going to bed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to watch the soccer match from my bed.
Ooh, love it.
Because you're like, you sent that screen of us. Your soccer options for your cable in China are freaking awesome.
Real nice, Clark.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I get La Liga, EPL, MLS, Bundesliga, and Champions League, all as part of my regular.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Would someone please make that package here?
Yeah, right.
Come on. Jeez. That's
Yeah,
rad.
it'll just cost you, your
yeah.
house and half your car.
Arm a leg.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Ron, we've had you on remote before, but it feels different this time because
It's a full episode,
You're
too.
going to be here for a bit. You're going to be this way for a bit. So, our release schedule will probably be a little weird because both Ferris and I have crazy stuff with work, which tends to throw off the sort of the beginning of the Really Live for a little weird. And of course, Ron being in China. So, but we'll keep getting episodes slung out to you. They might just be dropping on different days of the week when it's all said and done.
But Cookie Push China and Moo Thunder can't keep us down. We'll still be as as possible through your ears or in your car as we possibly can be.
One of our listeners, Mr. Jeff Vuktis, who had visited earlier, he finally listened to the last episode and was like, I'm dying with the Cookie Puss. That Captain, what was it, brewery?
Captain Lawrence.
Captain Lawrence is like 10 miles from him.
It's actually, they
They
have other good beers.
We tried other beer they made, and it was actually good. That one was no. But he's like, well, they got Fudgy the Whale though here right now. I was like, well, we heard that's good. You need to. If you're going to come take another Orlando trip,
three-strike rule with them, right? Three-strike rule.
If you're going to do another Orlando trip, bring some Fudgy the Whale. Which he was like, man, no, Ron's not there. I was like, well, Ron is supposed to be in town for like a week or so in November. So
yep,
like
Fudgy the Whale.
We got to see if we can get some Fudgy.
Clean out your toilets now, Blake.
Oh man, I love it. Well, everyone, as always, just check out the website, thebrewtifulgame.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, the Instagrams, Untapped for all the fun beers. Ron's especially trying right now in China. I think that's everything. Yes.
Yeah. All social medias. Our Fantasy Premier League.
Oh, yes.
Our Fantasy Premier League. Check to our socials to sign up for it. Also, the NBC Sports Predictor game. We started a league as well. You can find that on our social medias as well. So you can for our Premier League fantasy league, the first place in the league gets a jersey. Not an outrageous jersey, but something under $100, and we will send that out to you. Kim has won the past 2 years, so hopefully we can take him down. This year, Blake's off to a good start. But feel free to sign up for that. Even if you miss the first week, you can still sign up. The code and all of that on how to is on our socials. And then the Predictor League is on our socials as well. And that's something through NBC Sports, which you basically predict they give you 5 games and you predict the scores for that. And you're up for all sorts of, you win up to $50,000 if you get all 5 scores.
Everybody that's playing.
But you can also submit that to our league, and then we kind of compete. And at the end of the year, figure out who's first, second, or third, and maybe we'll.
And just so you're aware, our Fantasy Premier League is on the official EPL Fantasy Premier League app. We were using that one. The
actual Premier League site.
Just because there's a couple options out there. So, and if you go to our social media, you will find the codes and stuff. But if you have any questions, you can email us at thebrutifulgame@gmail.com, or private messages through whatever, Facebook, Twitter, what have you, and we'll make sure you get information that you need. All right, gents, does that wrap us up?
I think so.
Speaking of Parent of the Year.
Oh crap! Right, the dad joke book, which is getting thin. I gotta get another one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because. Oh man, this is just for Ron.
Oh, damn it!
This is definitely for Ron. Because you're the only, I think you'll appreciate this way more than anybody else will. All right, here we go. Dad joke number 186. How do you know when a dad chemist has fallen asleep? He stops reacting.
Oh my God.
That's a good one. That's like smart.
It's like smart.
It's like, I think that we were watching my daughter loves the Spider-Man movie Into the Spider-Verse, and I love the line where the kid makes the bad joke, and the girl's like, I like your joke. I mean, it's not funny, but it was smart.
Yeah.
That's what that one makes me think of. All right, here we go. All right, Ron, raising the glass. Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game.
Inglewood always up to no good. Tupac Shaporter.